All right, Lance, next question's for you. You have risen to be one of the top real estate agents in the world, it seems, pretty quickly. So we would all in this room like for you to give us some wisdom and name some things that you did to jumpstart your business.
It all starts with hiring the right people. And in this business, it's all about the people that you hire and the talent that you hire. I come from corporate America and mostly the retail world, and I never wanted to get into real estate. My wife had gotten into real estate about 1.5 years earlier, and she asked me to join her, and I said, why in the world would I stoop down to that level? Because I always associated real estate agents as used car salesmen because of the professionalism and lack thereof. And it's not a knock on that, it's just that's how I viewed it. So when we got into this business, wanted to raise the industry standards of what professionalism looked like. And so we hired people from corporate America, brought them into our industry and trained them and taught them. But at the end of the day, it's all about the people that you hire.
Moving on to Lance, having systems and processes are an integral part of building any business. If you think back to your early days in real estate, what systems do you believe were the most important to your success?
Excel spreadsheets.
We've come a long way.
And the people on our team hated me because everything was on Excel spreadsheets, all of our listings and everything else. But that's the way it was back then. And we grew into Wise Agent, and then we went into Infusionsoft and Keep. At the end of the day, it's whatever system you use on a regular basis, but you have to use it and you have to make it work. And again, it's the people that you hire. I didn't create these systems and processes. I hired people that were great at systems and processes and empowered them to be amazing at what they do. So many times we try to tell people what to do instead of empowering them, and you get much better by empowering people.
Good.
Can I follow up on that?
Yeah, please, would love.
So Lance, I agree. Back then you're doing spreadsheets, but at least you were doing them. So when you empowered people, are they the ones that took you away from the spreadsheets?
Yeah. Very, very quickly. I still have those spreadsheets, by the way. But at the end of the day, the good news is from working in spreadsheets or looking at the data is where your business is at 24/7. When you stop looking at reports, when you stop actually doing the data investigation, you start losing sight of where you're at. And so we look at numbers every single day, and numbers tell you a story. When it was pretty wild, when COVID hit, you could see the fluctuation in business. And when it started coming back up, because we were looking at our numbers daily, we saw that, and we were able to be aggressive much quicker.
Lance, what significant challenges have you encountered while building your team? And how have you overcome them to achieve the impressive growth and success of your company?
So at the end of the day, it's the type of people that you hire, first and foremost, and then it's how you treat them while they're there. And, before COVID and before the pandemic, we were always known for our culture. And then the pandemic hit and everything became remote. And it was great for me because I don't like people, so I didn't have to deal with anybody. but you lose the connection. And the challenge that we encountered is that we didn't pivot quickly enough, and you talk about having to constantly grow. Well, you have to constantly look at yourself and look in the mirror and say, what do you have to do to get to next? And it's always looking at what your people are doing, what are they good at, and where can you put them or where can you help them continue to grow? My job is to serve our people on a daily basis and to help them grow. Build an organization large enough to encompass all of their dreams and their aspirations. And when you don't focus on their dreams and their aspirations, then they start leaving because the grass is greener on the other side, or so they think. And I feel like we've grown the business because our focus has always been on them instead of looking at ourselves.
That's good. I like that. Okay, this question's for Nimish, but I feel like I kind of want all of y'all to answer it, and Nimish, you can kick it off. What are your thoughts on the current real estate market that we're in, and what are your predictions for 2024? And I'm going to add my little spin to this question. If you were a new agent or a young, not a legend agent in the market that we're in, we all might be a little bit slower than normal. What would you recommend we do? I am encouraging my team. They hear me hounding them every day. Yes, post on social media, but that's not the only answer. Pick up your phone, call people. That's what I'm telling them to do. But I think a lot of us are wondering what y'all would do. And if your answer is the same as mine, what would you say on the phone? I would love to hear from all of y'all.
Ooh. I think a lot of this starts with educating yourself, right? You don't want to get caught up in here's what this media station said, and this is what this media station said, et cetera. You need to know. I mean, the whole point of us being real estate agents is that we're supposed to be the local experts, right? You guys know that. Our license, to have a license means you have to be a local expert in your area. To be the local expert, you need to educate yourselves on what's going on with not just the local market, but then overall market and how it's going to affect your local market. So the more you educate yourself, the better. I'm going to give you guys the simplest, easiest tip first and foremost to educate yourself. We're all, for the most part of HAR. HAR gives you a free subscription to Inman, okay? Inman has articles for days and days and days and days, but there are some good ones in there. And you're going to formulate your own idea after you read 3 different articles about what's going on with the mortgage business, right? They might have 3 different things. I heard somebody earlier talking about the mortgage business, but then yesterday I read something that says it's not going to come down anytime soon. Now we're looking at 2025 because of the 2 wars that we're in and the election coming up. But you have to have conversations like that with your clients to be able to educate them. They're not going to just sit there and say, I think Lance said he didn't like real estate professionals because we weren't really professional back then. We were really just salespeople. Well, that's going to come across. It is going to come across when you're talking to somebody. So instead of actually trying to force them to buy a house, sell a house, rent a house, lease a house, you should be educating them. And as you give them all their options, you educate them, then they're going to make their decision. You're never going to force anyone to do anything. But then they're going to use you because you didn't force them into something. You educated them the proper way, and that's what part of the social media part that I'm talking about. Show that you're the expert out there. But as far as newbie agents, I'll tell you, if you're brand new or less than a year or 2 in the business, and I'm not counting the last 2 to 3 years, okay? Anybody can just show up and write their name on a contract. That's what happened in the last 2 to 3 years. Don't think that you're like a great agent because of that. Everybody was doing that. But if you're a newbie agent, what I would do, number one thing I would do is I would latch on. I would latch on to a mentor or a team, okay? I don't care about splits. I don't care about numbers and how much Lance is taking or how much Ronnie's taking or Nimesh is taking from you. Don't look at it like that. Look at it as how many opportunities are they going to put you in front of, right? So that's the number one thing I would do. If you're trying to do it on your own and you're sitting there like comparing numbers and okay, well this split's better or this firm is better, you're not doing it for the right reasons then, okay? You need to figure out how to learn every single day, and the only way you can do that is to be, Laura, you're talking about your team. You're sitting there educating your team. Well, most agents don't have that. They don't have that. They don't have it from their brokers. They don't have it from their team leaders as much. So find that environment for you. And then the last thing I'll say before I hand it off is back to the patients. I think we were going to be fine, okay? Not that I think we're going to be fine. I know we're going to be fine, but that's only if you want to put in the work. I was talking to, some of you guys know Michelle Posey. She's with EXP. She's on the HAR boards and stuff. And she gave me some numbers yesterday I was asking for. Last year, you guys know how many real estate agents, not memberships, but how many real estate agents were part of HAR? Any guess?
38,000.
50,000. 50,000 last year. You know how many there are today? 42,195. So 8,000 agents have already dropped out of the business so far this year. 8,000. And that number is going to keep going. It's going to keep going. Don't be one of those. Don't be one of those, okay?
I think the market's terrible and you should stay home, give up, turn on the TV and listen to the geniuses on TV about how terrible the world is and how terrible the market is and how terrible we all are. that's an easy thing to do as far as realistically. I never turn on the TV. I can't stand it. I read a lot. That's where I get my news, because then I get more of the information and I can decide how I believe it and how it fits in with my reality. People have to know you first off. So if you're in real estate, every single person you know or run into should know that you're in real estate, which means you also have to be professional, act professional. That's why I would never put my name on my license plate, because I don't want them knowing that was me.
Your car is parked outside the bar till 4 a.m.
Well, it's not that. But I might, in the old days, I might be the one that cut you off, ran over, honked at you, whatever. Now, in the title business, of course, we had absolutely record years through all of COVID and the refinances and all of those things. And then the market starts dropping. And at one time, we had 8% of the market. So 8% of the homes that closed in Houston, Texas, closed at Great American Title Company. That was great. I wanted 10, but it was great. 8% was great. Now it's 6.5. And, people talk about, well, business is off. And I say, look, we got 6.5% of the business. There's 93% more out there that we need to go take away. I mean, that's the way you have to look at it. That's my business. It's not yours. It's not the other title companies. That's my business. I want all of the business, and that's just the way I've been driven. So if you're satisfied not doing very much, well, then you're not going to do very much. If you're driven to do more, regardless of, when I got in real estate in 1988, which was the real Great Recession, not 2008, 9, and 10, which was a blip. This is nothing. We sold 52 homes our first year. The average sales price, $50,000. $50,000. Average commission, $1,500 times 51 is about $78,000. How in the heck did you live on it? Things were cheaper then. But I think it starts right here and right here. If you think it's bad, then it's bad. If you've got a positive attitude and get your butt up and go to work, it'll be okay and you'll be fine.
We had our annual planning advance last week, and doing research and stuff, I had a song that popped in, and it said, "Tough times don't last, tough people do." And I've taken that motto. Do you know that there was 6,883 single-family homes sold last month? Tell me the market's bad. Like, at the end of the day, everybody in this room could do 3 to 5 transactions easily and still not hit 6,000. That's just September. And so you look at that and take your unfair share. At the end of the day, like I said earlier, I don't like people, but I know that I have to lead generate. So tennis was a passion of mine. Now it's pickleball. Play about 4 to 5 days a week. But I have the Loken group everywhere that I have, like yours on the koozie. I wear t-shirts that have the Loken group on it. I don't have to talk to anybody, but they all know I'm in real estate, like Ronnie said. That's my method of lead generating. And you have to do that 2 to 3 hours every single day. It's not the most fun thing to do, but you have to be consistent. Be consistent with boredom.
That's great. All right. I've heard a lot of themes of consistency up here. Carrie, do I have time for one more question? No? Okay. Well, y'all, this was amazing. I took a lot away from you guys. I am going to get all 3 of your cell phone numbers now that you've offered for me to call y'all with questions. But I hope y'all got a lot from this. I certainly did. It was at least just an encouragement to me to just keep pushing on, being consistent. I feel like we all fail at that, that it's hard to be consistent. So thank you guys for sharing just your journeys and your success and any wisdom that you guys shared. I know a lot of us will take, and we're going to be up here legends one day. I know we will.